Do you like coffee? Do you like getting drunk? I've got good news for you. I'm gonna make some Kahlua, because even though I don't like coffee, I do like getting drunk. This also makes pretty nice gifts for anybody on your list who likes coffee or getting drunk, you know, for Christmas or Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, the apocalypse. All it is sugar and coffee and booze. So let's make some. All we really need to do is pretty much make coffee syrup. And it's gonna be a 2-to-1 mixture of coffee to sugar. So we're gonna take 4 cups of coffee, and you can pretty much use whatever kind of coffee you'd like. What kind of coffee is this, Lamont?
It's
Armenian.
Whatever they have at the Armenian store.
Cool. Yeah, just right. We might as well use the rest. Perfect. Obviously we're gonna need some sugar. In this case it's a 2-to-1 syrup, so 4 cups of coffee means we need 8 cups of sugar. We just need to heat this up until the sugar melts. We've got our coffee syrup cooled down. I had it in the fridge, so it's a little below room temperature. That brings us to this embarrassing bottle of Popov on my counter. Let me explain. I was watching the Indulgence channel with Betsy the other day, and they did a tasting of bottom shelf vodkas, and this was the winner. Betsy and I decided why not go pick up a bottle, and long story short, this was 15 bucks, and it's not bad. So we need 4.5 cups of the vodka into the coffee syrup. The next step is vanilla. Let's go with a tablespoon of vanilla extract. Obviously, you could use real vanilla beans for this, and that's what most recipes call for, but when I went to Ralph's, the vanilla beans were $4 a piece. So we're using extract. We need to stir all that stuff together. I'm assuming we're rolling. So that's Kahlua. It really does need to age for a couple of weeks before we drink it for real, but I say we take a little taste of it right now. This is making a mess. I make a mess. That's pretty much my job. Oh, here we go. Thank you, Jessica. All right, let's see how this tastes. That tastes great. That tastes exactly like what I would expect it to at this moment in time. The flavors are a little bit raw and rough right now. It's very much just sort of like coffee and sugar and liquor. But over the next couple of weeks, it's gonna mellow out and round out, and it's gonna start tasting really delicious. Or 10 months, whatever. That was one hell of a clock wipe. I could use a drink. I'm gonna make a White Russian, which is probably the best known use for a coffee liqueur. My preferred White Russian ratios are 2 parts vodka and 1 part coffee liqueur. And then as much dairy as you care for. Now you can use pretty much whatever kind of dairy you want. The classic choice is heavy cream. That's a little too thick for me. You could use half and half. I'm using whole milk, which is what I usually use because it's just about the right consistency. If you want it with skim milk, that would be called a skinny White Russian. If you want it with chocolate milk, that would be a Vladimir Putin, aka a dirty Russian. If you put a squirt of cola in the top of a regular White Russian, that's a Colorado Bulldog, or I've also heard that called a Smith & Wesson. That sounds really weird, but it's actually really good. The fizziness and the sweetness of the Coke just sort of help like balance everything out, and the fizziness kind of lightens everything up. I really like those. That's actually a pretty tasty variation. Let's give this a try. Oh yeah, that's really tasty. Well, hi. Well, you may notice that the apartment looks a little bit different than it did just a couple of moments ago. There's a pretty good reason for that, and that is that Lamont and Jessica have decided to move back home. For those of you who might not know this, Lamont is my brother and Jessica is his now wife. And home is the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, basically, is where they've decided to head back to. And since Them Muds is a brand that Lamont and I created to house stuff that we worked on together, I decided to go ahead and move this Andy Snacks over to my channel, which is the Andrew Mudd channel. And I'll put a link for that at the end of this, and then also down in the description, of course. So if you want to follow along with some more Andy Snacks, I'd love for you to come and visit me at my new channel. And please do stay subscribed here to Them Mudds, because I'm sure at some point in the near future, we will have some more Them Mudds content coming here. Well, anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope to see you over at the Andrew Mudd channel. But bye for now. Cheers.